Welcome to Rusty Forge. The developers have finally added the apartment complex to the staging branch, and honestly I was already starting to worry that it might be pushed back to July, because the global wipe is only a week away and we still had not seen anything in game. But no, here it is and it's finally here, so let's not waste any time and let's take a look at what we actually have. And there is already quite a lot to show. This location has 3 buildings, but 2 of them are not accessible. We also have the square in the front of the main building, around a dozen rentable shops and of course the apartments. Let's start the overview with the rentable shops. To rent a shop, you simply walk up to it and press E. The rental price is 220 scrap. Out of that, 100 scrap is a one-time payment and the remaining 120 scrap goes toward 12 hours of upkeep at 10 scrap per hour. The shop interaction menu is very similar to a vending machine. If we open the shop as a container, we can see it contains 120 scrap from 220 we paid. If you add more scrap, the rental time gets extended. You can also paint a sign for the shop, and that sign will be visible above the storefront. Now let's create a sell order. And if you close the shop, all of the contents are returned to you, but that 100 scrap one-time payment is lost. And as you can see, the diesel fuel and the single bullet were returned to me. And the most important part here, these shops are not accessible by drones. But on the other hand, it looks like they cannot be raided, at least in the current stage. Now let's move to the apartments themselves. On the first floor there is an NPC where we can rent 3 types of rooms. The penthouse for 3k scrap, a standard apartment for 1k scrap, and the basement room for 250 scrap. Let's start with the basement. Inside we have a level 1 workbench, a sleeping bag, a single locker, a small box, a chair toilet, and 2 large boxes styled as cabinets. There is also a stove for cooking food, a telephone, and a water source. We also have a terminal here that's let us to manage the upkeep for the room. Upkeep for basement costs 50 scrap per day, which is very cheap. Also pay attention to this, you can shoot inside apartments. This is not a safe zone, but once you are outside the door you can no longer shoot. And if you keep shooting by accident while stepping outside, the turrets will start shooting at you. Friends, thousands of you watch this video without being subscribed, and there is a high chance YouTube simply will not recommend this channel to you again. So if you don't want to miss future Rust updates and tutorials, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me bringing you new content. Thank you. In the standard apartment, things already look much better. Right in the hallway we have 3 large boxes styled as cabinets, with a stove placed between them. In the bathroom there are 2 more large boxes. There is also an upkeep terminal here, and the standard apartment costs 100 scrap per day. On the top of that we get a working fridge, a water source, a level 1 workbench, a full locker, 1 more large box, and a sleeping bag. In the conversation with the NPC, there is also an option to upgrade level of your apartment. This should automatically move your loot into the new room. So let's try this option. Our new room is on the 5th floor, so this time let's try taking the elevator. The elevator still looks like a bit buggy right now. It can be hard to aim at the buttons and sometimes the doors close several times. Right away we are greeted by a large box, and inside we can see the scrap I left in the previous room. In the bathroom we again have two large boxes. In the kitchen there is another stove and several large boxes. And a fridge, of course. Also, we have here a painting and a level 1 workbench. We also get a large furnace, which wasn't available in previous room at all, not even a regular one. Upstairs we have a locker, a sleeping bag and one more large box. There is also an arcade machine, and a heater. The upkeep for this room cost 250 scraps per day. There is what I managed to check quickly for now. Of course, this is still a very surface level overview. After a deeper analysis, I'll cover even more details in the next videos. Right now there are still a lot of questions. What happens when the room runs out of scrap for upkeep? Can these rooms be raided? And if yes, how exactly? In the developer's commit there were mentions of breaking into this room, but so far I haven't found that mechanic here. It is also interesting how groups of players will be able to live here, because right now looks like only one player has access to an apartment. So there are still many questions. I will pin a comment with any extra information I managed to find. And I also ask you to leave your own questions in the comments, so I can check them and keep updating the pinned comment. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.